After months and months of waiting and confusion, we have confirmation that the 2024 C8 Corvette E-Ray production has started. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope everyone is having a fantastic holiday season. We are back with some fun and exciting news about the C8 Corvette E-Ray. And before we dive into that real quick, do take a second to check out some of the other recent videos on the channel. I did a full market analysis and breakdown of detailed analytics and factual metrics from wholesale auctions around the recent decline of C8 Corvette prices. C8 Stingrays at this point are a dime a dozen for below MSRP. I can find one within a couple of minutes. I've shared Facebook groups on the past that offer very credible leads to C8 Stingrays below MSRP, so definitely check out that video. And there's a growing trend over the last couple of weeks where C8 Z06s have come down to around the $10,000 to $15,000 over MSRP markup, with the occasional MSRP car showing up. There was one actually yesterday that was at the museum that somebody backed out of, and the dealer was looking to move the car at MSRP for somebody willing to do museum deliveries. So if you're searching for a C8 Stingray or a C8 Z06, make sure you are well aware of the current pricing conditions so you don't fall prey to some of these price gouging dealers still asking ridiculous markups. And as always, if you are stopping by for the first time, take a second to hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it going into the holiday season. Take a quick moment to give the video a thumbs up if you found this video and this format informative and helpful, and definitely go ahead and leave a comment section down below on your thoughts of today's video and this exciting Corvette news. And so without wasting any more time, let's dive right into today's video. Per a report from Detroit News, a memo has been sent out to General Motors employees calling for the historic moment in Corvette history in which the C8 Corvette E-Ray has begun production. Now this does come as a catch, we'll cover that later in the video. It is important to note that this vehicle is several months behind production schedule. We originally were supposed to start production in late summer, and that's now been pushed back to almost the start of 2024. But it has been confirmed that starting this week, C8 Corvette E-Rays have been going down the assembly line. We are not sure what the quantities of those cars are at this time, but based on some information that's been shared on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum and some speculation from some credible sources, it appears that only a couple cars are going to make it down the assembly line this week. We've seen production target dates from the middle of December get moved into late January, or some as far back as early February. And those are the earliest known TPWs for the C8 Corvette E-Ray. So these cars being pushed down the line right now seem to be specialty vehicles. And to showcase how this information is coming to us in real time, as I'm making this video, 3 window stickers were made available from General Motors for 3 E-Rays produced today on December 12th. 2 of those window stickers are for US made cars, and 1 of those window stickers is for a Canadian spec car. And as you can see from both of these window stickers here, neither of these are the illustrious VIN number 1, which means these are either CTF cars or these are window stickers made for some of those specialty E-Ray orders that I was talking about that General Motors is prioritizing over the general population. I'm not an expert at breaking down window stickers and VINs to know if these are CTF cars. Corvette Blogger has confirmed that retail E-Rays were sighted on the assembly line Monday night. And so it's hard to tell if General Motors has held the 001 VIN back or hasn't published that window sticker yet. We can only assume that they are going to produce a press video of the E-Ray coming down the assembly line. They did such an event for the C8 Stingray and the C8 Z06, so we can only imagine VIN number 1 for the E-Ray, which is going to Mr. Hendricks, who purchased that car for I believe $1.5 million at auction, is going to be one of the first cars, or if not the first car to roll down the assembly line, followed by probably a couple other specialty orders. And so even though you're going to see a lot of noise about the E-Ray production starting, I don't think we can get super excited. It is going to be a slow and controlled and measured rollout, which General Motors has committed to being the process going forward on a lot of these high desirable launches over the last couple of years. And so I think a majority of consumer cars are going to get produced this late January to early February timeline, and this is just a couple of cars they're squeezing in within this calendar year almost to save face. And it is unfortunate because I do have a C8 Corvette E-Ray on order, and I feel for all the people that have been waiting for this car because it seems that the communication has been patchy and poor to say the least. And so a car that was supposed to start production in late summer, early fall is now starting production in the middle of winter. For many people, that's not a great time to take delivery of a car. And the most frustrating part about all this, and I've shared this on the channel in the past, is there hasn't been a single customer C8 E-Ray produced before they even increased the price of the C8 Corvette E-Ray for consumers. And so what that means is they launched the car with this attractive price and then they jacked up the price before ever selling a single car to a consumer, which again is a poor look on General Motors' part. And I know I am venting a little bit, but it does get frustrating that we are now almost 4 years removed from the pandemic starting. The pandemic is behind us at this point, and the question really stands is how long are we going to give General Motors the parts shortages because of COVID-19 and the pandemic card? Are we going to launch the C9 Corvette with General Motors still playing the pandemic card, or are they going to get their act together and deliver these cars with a reasonable customer experience, which is no longer the case when you're trying to buy a desirable vehicle from General Motors? At some point, we do have to address the elephant in the room that the pandemic can't be an endless excuse for poor production quality and delivery management. We see pictures like this of hundreds and thousands of C8 Corvettes sitting at the assembly plants, missing parts, partially built. And even worse is we have confirmation of multiple C8 Stingrays being taken from Bowling Green and shipped to Lansing, Michigan to have transmission problems fixed, while some of these cars are already purchased, because to keep the ADS system, this whole bogus delivery and allocation mechanism that General Motors kind of black boxes it to send cars to price gouging dealers, some dealers are selling cars the second they're invoiced to the dealership before they've even landed at the dealership. So some of these cars getting shipped from repair from the factory to Michigan are sold cars with customers having bought for them, having signed the paperwork, and then waiting months to get a car because General Motors couldn't build a car without factory defects. And so as much as I wanted to give General Motors the benefit of the doubt, I'm not taking the C8 E-Ray production start as a win, because ultimately it is almost a quarter of a year behind schedule. It's also a onesie-twosie kind of media fanfare for them to say they've started production. They're still not starting majority production until the end of January, early February, unless we hear otherwise. Those TPWs have not changed. So what does everybody think about the delivery timeline and how the E-Ray rollout has unfolded? I think unanimously everyone is going to agree that the Stingray was pretty bad, but at the time everybody gave General Motors a pass due to the pandemic. The Z06 rollout's not been great or any better, and the E-Ray's gotten significantly worse. In terms of a quick update on my E-Ray situation, I do have an order in. I am waiting to see if the dealership gets an allocation. I'm not getting my hopes up, and I do think I'm going to have a backup in place because the Z06 with the same dealer didn't quite pan out, and not to the dealer's fault. They just didn't get any allocation because General Motors likes price gouging dealers for retail stock cars over MSRP dealers putting in sold orders. So again, just more frustration on the whole buying experience from General Motors. And so I am silently also shopping for an Audi R8. I think that would be a good candidate for the next supercar on the channel. I've been very fascinated by the Audi R8, and the V10 I think would replace some of that sound that the Z06 was offering for what is now a comparable price. So it's not as fast straight line, but the sound's there, the performance is there, the exotic unique curb appeal of the Audi R8 is there, so it's another car that's on my radar. But quick little info update on the E-Ray as more information becomes available. Definitely hit the subscribe button. I will share any and all information about the C8 Corvette that I come across, as I have on the channel in the past, as I will continue to do in the future, and we have tons of great content coming on the horizon. I have big aspirations for 2024. So if you want to go along for the journey, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and as always, until the very next video, I look forward to seeing all of you in the comment section below.